What is going on, everybody? My name is Baloo and welcome to the jungle. This is the channel where we take a very simple approach to technical analysis. We look at the price in the context of volume using the Wyckoff method. If that is something that interests you, then why don't you hit the subscribe button or leave me a follow on Twitch. I do this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you again in the stream. All right, so in today's video, I want to go over a couple of the charts that kind of look at market health. You know, we had a crazy good 2 weeks in the altcoin space the last 2 weeks, and we seem to be running out of momentum. We seem to be running out of steam. So I want to just go ahead and take a look at what I think this market could be doing. It's very hard to read right now. So, you know, technical analysis is not necessarily about being right. It's just about leveraging your ability to interpret the charts and pick a side so that you are able to position yourself for any particular direction. So without any further ado, let's get into the charts here. So I'm just gonna start out actually on the Bitcoin chart. I'm on the Binance futures chart, but structurally we're all looking at the same thing. And we've been looking at this chart for a long time, and I really enjoyed the reaccumulation that we saw in terms of this reaccumulation schematic right here. This trading range right here looks very, very healthy. We saw a lot of very bullish signals inside of this trading range. We got our sign of strength, a very bullish sign, and we didn't really get a typical backup. Now, you know, the last couple days, I kind of interpreted that as the space is really bullish and we're just not getting the tests anymore. You know, people aren't even bothering to wait for a back test in order to make an entry. But now I'm not so sure because the momentum seems to be slowing. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of supply coming in as certain targets are being hit. And I am just kind of taking a little bit more of a conservative approach and really trying to understand what's going on in the charts. So basically this area right here is the area of concern. Everything else back here is beautiful. We didn't get a test down here, so I kind of want to dissect this area right here. So I'm just going to jump down to the 2-hour chart and just zoom in on that upsloping trading range right here. And I'm gonna do my best to kind of interpret the volume. Now, we did kind of get a break here where we did get a high, at least on the futures chart, at nearly $51,000, $50,953. And very good sign. You know, that was the first time that we touched 50K. We touched 50K. That is a big even number. Obviously, there's going to be some supply that enters at that level, and we did, in fact, see that supply enter. You can see the amount of volume. It is very much so above the rest of the typical volume in this range. So if this is our kind of typical volume range here, we definitely have an outlier in the volume right here. I'm not surprised at all because 50K is a big deal. So let's go down to the 1-hour chart because I'm getting conflicting signals inside of this consolidation here. So first of all, you know, the overall supply is kind of all over the place. Like we're not seeing a very consistent contraction of the supply. Typically when you're in a consolidation range, you know, you'll make a high, you'll make a buyer's climax, and then the price action will kind of be range bound for a bit, and that will typically fall on declining volume, declining supply. There's less and less selling pressure. And then when you get near a tightening of that supply and a tightening of the range, you can kind of look for certain signals of strength, like an ease of movement to the upside or anything like that. We're not really getting that right now in this local move here. The only bullish thing that I can pull out of this kind of consolidation here is when we did get this supply spike right here, this large volume candle that came on with this move and attempted breakout of the $50,000 level is, you know, since then we do have declining supply on increasing price, but we are in very small time frames right here. So I don't think that it'll be outside of the realm of possibility that we get another test, another touch up to the top of the range, and possibly even a failure. Like I already mentioned, technical analysis isn't necessarily about being right. You and I, we're both wrong until one of us is right. So it's more about just looking at the candles and coming up with your own story, coming up with your own interpretation that you kind of are looking at, that is basically just, all of your hours of looking at the chart and the education that you have done so far is going to help you kind of make a decision. Anybody that says that they can predict what is going to happen next is kind of selling you a false narrative, in my opinion. These markets are irrational. These candles are just people buying and selling. So you can determine strength. I think that there's a very valid point there that you can determine strength, but your interpretation of that can also be wrong, and the market can just go sideways. So right now, the position I am taking in the short term on my bias is I am leaning to the bearish side on this one. I do think that there's a possibility that we do get a sign of weakness inside of this consolidation range. So potentially, let me just move this over here. Potentially you get something that might look like this. We get maybe another up thrust, a failure to hold the range, potentially a sign of weakness, and a back test down to 42,000. I think, we didn't touch 42,000. We didn't get the test. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of traders in the space that were waiting for that test. And then, we saw this creeping to the upside, and we just didn't get the liquidity that we needed to truly sustain. We didn't get the strong hands that we needed to pick up by getting that test. So I'm just thinking that, it needs to come back down to 42,000. That's just my guess. Thanks for the follow, Flat Rug. Another chart that I like to look at that kind of gives you a zoomed out approach is just total. Just take a look at total. So let's go out here on the daily. Looks like I've got some previous drawings here. I'll just get rid of those. We're just going to look at the total market cap, the total market cap of the crypto market. Let me just move that up here. Yeah, so we don't have a climactic action inside of the volume. And that's a good sign. We could, typically when you see a buyer's climax, it comes on a climactic action inside of the volume. So typically you get one of those outlying or a few outlying candles that are outside of the mean, the average of the volume signatures. And we have not seen that yet inside of the total market cap. But one thing that I do not like about the structure here is just this rounding over. Now, just because you see something rounding, it doesn't mean that it's not strong. It just means that it's slowing in momentum. Usually these rallies, we have really big rallies inside of crypto, and then a correction, and then a strong rally and a correction. When you see that zigzag pattern, it's very strong, it's very healthy. But when you get an up thrust that just rounds, that rounding over is showing you that there's a lot of people willing to sell at that level, and there's a lot of people willing to buy, but the buyers are getting exhausted. So you create that rounding over effect inside of the price structure. So, there is bearish signals that are coming in to the market, and they can't be ignored. We had a very good run, okay? We had several assets do, over 100% moves in the last 2 weeks. So people are going to naturally take profits. There's more available supply. There's people that made money. When people make money, they take profits. So it's just part of the natural ebbs and flows that come along with being inside of this market. It's nothing to freak out about. We have not broken any sort of macro market structure. I think that a test of 42,000 inside of Bitcoin is very healthy. None of this stuff is scary. This is just normal ebbs and flows of the crypto market. So we'll quickly take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum's kind of had me scratching my head, to be perfectly honest. Ethereum, let's go to the perpetual futures. Most of my stuff's on the perpetual futures chart. I will take a look at Mana, and I will take a look at YFI. Garden Profit, can you please explain what you mean? Wouldn't that be bullish? So yeah, inside of Ethereum, we're kind of seeing the same sort of thing, just a rounding over in the price structure. You can see that here. Let me get rid of that. Just a rounding over. You know, Ethereum's just kind of been battling. You know, it's working on its all-time high break way back here. If we actually, I don't think I have the all-time high on the perp chart. But yeah, you know, we've been working with this all-time high. We are above the all-time high. It's good. We're making higher highs. We're making higher lows. But, you know, it's just, there's no commitment. We're running out of momentum. And sometimes time can be a good indicator of strength. You know, how quickly are things moving? How much of a test? Like, how quickly do we go to the upside after a test? All of these kind of things will help in determining strength. And just the lack of momentum here is just telling me that the buyers are exhausted, and it makes sense. Right on. So Ian Guilford says, glad to be a part of the bear den. Love all the level-headed approaches within the den. Yeah, you have to stay level-headed. You got to keep, you know, a very you need to stay as emotionless as possible and just look at the facts in the charts. Don't try to see things that aren't there. Just be honest with yourself. There's facts here in the charts. Just because you're really excited about a project doesn't mean that it's going to go up. It just means, you know, there's factors that you need to listen to inside of the chart. So yeah, a couple of other things that I want to take a look at. We can just briefly take a look at some of these players that we've been inside of the private den. I do a free newsletter. We at the Arcane Bear, we do a weekly newsletter that gives you guys a lot of these technical breakdowns, as well as some fundamentals to back up those technical breakdowns. So if you are at all interested in that sort of content, please follow the links below in Twitch and in YouTube. I have the links up and running now, so you can go ahead and sign up for the free newsletter. And if you are interested in taking your education to the next level, I encourage you to join the Bear Den. It's a fantastic skills incubator. You know, it's the place that you can really learn. It's a great environment for you to be able to you know, just get a lot of the theory down. It's a nice place to be able to ask questions and get the answers that you're looking for. So if you aren't already in a group, I highly recommend that you join our team. But if you're not interested, that is fine too. The free newsletter is free. So follow the link in the description below. But here we are on Avalanche. Avalanche has really, as some of you may already know, I do not have a position in Avalanche, and I'm kicking myself for it because I just didn't understand what it was that they were doing. And these guys have solved some cross-chain communication issues. They're solving Ethereum gas fees, and they're solving a lot of real problems that exist inside of the ecosystem today that are going to be a hindrance on the Ethereum network if they cannot get solved. So this is kind of begging the question, is Ethereum going to be able to fix it? Do we need this kind of protocol to work in conjunction with Ethereum as a bit of a temporary band-aid until ETH 2.0 can really become integrated? Or do a lot of these chains just end up working together in its own kind of ecosystem? That's the beauty of decentralization. If you can get the code to work together, there really doesn't have to be winners and losers. They can all achieve the same result, and because it's all on-chain, it doesn't matter. There's no ownership. We all own it. So, you know, anyways, Avalanche has a DEX. Avalanche has an Ethereum bridge so that we can get some of these ERC20 tokens onto the Avalanche network and pay pennies in fees instead of a lot in fees. I think I was doing some liquidity providing today, and oh man, you know, you sign one transaction for $15, you authorize another one for $15, you get the LP tokens for $50. Like, by the time you've staked your LP tokens and you've got a stake going inside of a pool, you've spent well over $100. That's a problem. That's a problem for sure. So It's encouraging to see some of these other projects like Binance Smart Chain and Avalanche working on curing some of these issues that exist inside of the DeFi sector. So Avalanche, going to keep it really simple. This is the first leg down. We need to see what it does next. This would be considered phase A, not even a complete phase A. We need to see if this bounces off of this level here, and then we can call it phase A. But we do not trade in phase A. We do not trade in phase B. We look for positions in phase C and D. And if you have no idea what I am talking about, this is called the Wyckoff method. And it's a fantastic method invented in the early 1900s. If you are interested in learning more about the Wyckoff method, I encourage you to join the free Discord down in the description. I have a ton of PDFs. If you just Google in Wyckoff method, you'll find a ton of stuff. But I've curated a lot of the documents and put them all in one place that is easy to see, easy to collect, and it's all right there in the free Discord. So if you're interested, just go ahead and join down there. Okay, what else do we got? Skills incubator, yes, that is what it is. We're here to grow your abilities. It's the trader is self-reliant. If you try and follow somebody else's trades, first of all, like I've mentioned already before, we're not right all the time. We're just basing our opinions on using analysis as a tool to kind of leverage that bias. And we can be more than 50% accurate for sure. Technical analysis can make you right more often, but it's never a guarantee. And if you don't ever just follow somebody else, you're never going to get the opportunity to find out if you're a better trader than they are. So it's a trader is self-reliant. It's your own personal journey. So I encourage you to look at it that way. Still looking bullish on KNC the last time I looked at it. So let's go ahead and take a look at KNC. A lot of these, we're seeing this. We had a really good run up, and I think we're just entering a new reaccumulation. So we're back down to $2 on KNC. This is kind of a reaccumulation after decline. So I'll just quickly draw it in here. We had our buyer's climax back here. We're still above the level of the buyer's climax. We're well above the accumulation range on KNC. We're seeing this structure as well inside of band protocol. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about. We had our sign of strength here, and we're now coming back down to the level of the buyer's climax to really get in our backup phase. So if you're bullish on KNC, this is kind of the area to look out for. What you want to see is you want to see this level hold. So basically, we'll test on this level. We might dip below a little bit, and then you want to see us start to creep to the upside. When you see that movement to the upside, that's your indication that the trend is healthy. So kind of watch for the lower end of the range, and if you get a break of that range, right here would be a good entry if you were to enter into KNC. I think that this has been in a reaccumulation for a very long time, and using the Wyckoff method as far as cause and effect, the longer you build the cause, the higher the resulting effect. So if this does end up to be a bullish setup, we've had plenty of time to accumulate and plenty of time to build a cause to the upside. So I think that KNC is a fantastic project. Beautiful protocol for staking, as you get staking rewards in the form of Ethereum. Can Reef live up to its big adoptions, or will it flop fundamentally? I think Reef is a very interesting project, and I like Reef currently because it's actually in an area that's showing that it has not really taken off. So I'm just gonna switch over to my futures chart, which Reef is not a future, so I don't know what it's doing there, but anyways, that's where I know it is. Let's go ahead and take a look at Reef. So Reef has not had some of these face melting moves that we saw in the last 2 weeks, but that's okay. That's a good thing. Reef is still in accumulation. I think that Reef is this is very positive price structure. You're making higher highs and higher lows inside of a very controlled and mellow price channel. Reef, for those who don't know, is a liquidity aggregator inside of a cross-chain decentralized ecosystem, and half of the battle with DeFi is just learning what these buzzwords mean. So what a liquidity aggregator means is, currently if I trade on Binance, I trade on Binance. I have to use Binance's liquidity. And if you trade on Bittrex, you trade on Bittrex and you have Bittrex's liquidity. When we're trading on chain with swaps and stuff like that, what Reef is doing is it's going across all the exchanges, whether it's SushiSwap, Uniswap, OneInch, any of these decentralized exchanges, and it's finding the best seller for you, the buyer. Anytime you purchase a token, you're purchasing it from somebody else who is selling that token. So Reef is working to aggregate the information to find the best seller for you to purchase those tokens so that you can always get the best price. So it's finding your liquidity. It's aggregating all the available liquidity so that you can get the best price. I think Reef is fundamentally very, very strong. It's also being implemented into the Avalanche protocol, which is huge. I think Avalanche is a really good project that I will step into at some point. But there's a lot of fundamentals on the side of Reef. And I think that this quiet accumulation in the background is not a bad thing. I think that, we may get a test back down to the previous low right here. I think I've already marked the line right here back at about just over 3 cents on top of Reef. And then if we can break above this box, so if I was to just pretend like I knew where it was going, I could see something like this, maybe a double bottom down here, test the top of the range, get through this level, and then take off. I think that the price structure is very healthy. There's nothing that's telling me that this trend is ending, and the trend is your friend until it ends. We're making higher highs, we're making higher lows. Reef looks good, solid fundamentals. I don't think you need to worry about Reef. Okay. Sherm, are you talking about Reef? That setup looks great. Okay, how do I feel about GRT? GRT is another one. Fundamentals are really strong on GRT, but here's the thing, we're seeing a lot of these assets go into phase A. So here we are on GRT, it had a huge run. Here's our buyer's climax, and then here's our automatic reaction. Quite a spread. I'm going with the worst case scenario. I'm going with the worst spread right now because I don't have enough information to really identify a trading range, but we do have a clear change of behavior. We have a clear change in character inside of this asset, and it's a wait and see. We are going to probably go down to lower lows, and you have to be okay with that. If you're working with leverage or anything else on GRT, then you're already assuming a lot of risk, and you really do need to know what you're doing from a technical standpoint. But if you're in spot positions and you're bullish on if you're bullish on GRT, there's no reason to sell your position right now because there's just not enough information for you to be making that kind of decision. It's a wait and see right now. We need to see more candles print. We need to have a trading range. There is no real defined trading range yet. We have a high, we have a low, and that's it. There's nothing. We don't have enough. So that's what's happening inside of the space right now. There's a lot of these assets. Thank you for the follow. There's a lot of assets that this is where they're at. They had a big run up and now they need to reaccumulate. That's it. We just need to wait, okay? What broker do I use? For the most part, Binance, but as of late, I have been really getting into the DeFi sector and looking towards, decentralized applications. If you aren't hands-on with any of these DEXs, I really advise you to at least understand how they work. Get hands-on with something as far as a decentralized application, because that's kind of what we're building here. If you're just in here to kind of, make some money, yada, 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 the space is very, very exciting. And there's some incredible technology that is underneath all of this magic internet money. And, the peer-to-peer decentralized marketplace where we are creating a world where banks and brokers don't get a cut. That's very exciting stuff, and I recommend that you kind of understand what it is because it's pretty profound tech. So go take a few bucks, go take a few bucks on Binance Smart Chain because the Ethereum network costs too much to do anything but right now. We're definitely in dial-up days, but it's very exciting. So I'm doing a lot of stuff on the DeFi side these days as far as my trades are concerned. Okay, I did say that I was going to take a look at Mana and YFI. So I got YFI on my watch list here. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. YFI, another one that's had a really good run up. We actually had some targets set on this. We got these targets based on point and figure counts, something that I will probably never do on a stream because it takes too long to explain, and that's just kind of boring. But if you are interested in learning point and figure, I highly encourage you to join the free Discord and start asking some point and figure questions, because we've got an awesome analyst by the name of Christian who is really dialing in the point and figure stuff. I do some point and figure as well, but he's doing it on pretty much all of his trades, and he's definitely taught himself quite well on how to get some of these price targets using the Wyckoff method's point and figure analysis. But yeah, we were inside of this reaccumulation. We broke it, had a really long, brutal, drawn out backup. It was basically its own trading range on top of this other trading range. And you know what, if history is to repeat itself, we're probably in for another grind. So, you know, it's just, we're gonna just have to see if this starts to pick up momentum or if we get a repeat of this last range back here just at a higher level. I think fundamentally YFI is a really good project. You know, it's a yield aggregator, you know, back to those buzzwords, but you know, it's trying to find the best yield. I'm not getting into the fundamentals. That one's a little bit harder to explain than Reef. Yeah. Mana. Let's go ahead and take a look at Mana. So Mana, decentralized, basically digital land. It's kind of part of the NFT space. Personally, I'm not too focused on NFTs in the moment and that sort of technology, because as profound as the technology is, I just don't think the world's there yet. But when you're in the speculative stage of a bull market, it really doesn't matter, because at this point we're selling the story, we're not selling the facts. So, you know, we have really good price structure inside of Decentraland. We had a beautiful accumulation range back down here. Let me get onto a higher time frame here. Oh yeah, so we actually, yeah. Man, that's some spiky stuff back there. I'm just gonna not look at that. All right, let's go over here. Right there. So we had kind of an accumulation range down in here. We got a beautiful test off of that range. So, you know, we accumulated here. We got a nice test off of there, and then we got a huge markup, and guess where we are now? We're at phase A of the next reaccumulation. That's why the market is slowing down. That's why the trades are slowing down. That's why the setups aren't there. People need more information. Traders need more information. Whales need more information. The institutions need more information. The only decision that you can really make right now as an educated trader is taking profits. So nobody is in a position to buy because the technical setup to buy is not there. So it's just another example of wait and see. And Bitcoin is showing us that too. You know, it's a very indecisive move that we're in right now with Bitcoin. It has that ascending channel without a test on the backup. We just need to wait and see. We need to wait and see. So the market is telling us in a lot of these assets that we just need to wait and see. Okay, congratulations, KP. But I do recommend that you keep your accounts and holdings private. It is best that you do not draw too much attention to your holdings. Do I think Litecoin at 185 is a good price to enter? I think right now, no, potentially, but let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. I just think that the entire space needs a little bit of a cool off. Here's the thing about Litecoin though. People who are just going to get into this space, the new retail investors who are getting ready, or the new retail that is going to be entering this space, they're going to buy Bitcoin first. Bitcoin is the entry, okay? For some of you, it might have been Ethereum. you're a weirdo. But for most people, it's going to be Bitcoin. And what is beside Bitcoin? You have Ethereum, you have Litecoin, you have sometimes EOS for some reason, you got Ripple. You know, those are the coins that are easy to buy. When the coins are easy to buy, when you're in the speculative stage of the later end of the bull market, those coins go up because people are just FOMOing into this market. They don't care what it is, they don't care what it does, they don't care where it came from or anything about it. That's why Doge is up so high. They're just gonna buy it. So I think Litecoin, if anybody gets to the fundamentals, comparing it, that it's the same chain as Bitcoin, it's the test net for Bitcoin or whatever, there's going to be value there. And I think that you're going to see higher prices than what it's currently valued at around $200. But you were saying 185? So 185, that's a good entry. You know, based on this structure right here, that would be a retest of this box, this trading range. So good for you if you were using the Wyckoff method to try and find that. So yeah, you know, we're looking for a backup here. So 185 would be kind of a good entry. Now, just because I have a line drawn on the chart, just because I have an area of interest as far as me purchasing, doesn't mean that I just place an order there to buy. I do sometimes, but mostly I don't. What I like to see is a little bit of support get drawn, or you want to see those candles build support on top and then draw a range above those candles. When you break out of that, you're showing a reversal. Better yet, if you can break above this level right here, this is a good place to buy. So you could buy where the scoop starts to go up, or you could buy a break of the previous high. Buying breakouts really only work inside of a bull market, so realize where you are, realize what you're doing, and realize what kind of an environment that we're in right now, because this strategy will not work in a bear market at all. That is where you short, basically, if you can even get up that high. But yeah, in a bull market, that's kind of the strategy that you're looking for. So keep an eye open for that. Okay. Bitcoin Cash, another example of a coin that is easy to buy. And you know what? I think the technicals are really lining up on that one. I keep getting alerts. So Bitcoin Cash is giving me something. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash real quick. Some funny drawings. Okay, Bitcoin Cash on the daily. Let's get some more information here. He's a new retail investor. Want a talent to sell it and get a real asset. I agree with you fundamentally. I think that Bitcoin Cash is kind of not a great coin, because here's the thing, you know, last cycle we were talking about currencies and we were talking about platforms. This cycle we're talking about oracles, we're talking about protocols, we're talking about decentralized exchanges, we're talking about governance, we're talking about very different things this cycle. You are a lot more savvy than your retail investor as far as where we are right now, but that doesn't mean that when you're in the speculative stage of a bull market that you can't, you know, make money. So you can see the change of character here. So we are transitioning, or we have transitioned from a downtrend to a sideways trading environment, and we are now potentially entering an uptrend. So this area right here and this area right here are called your change in character, or your change in behavior. So we'll just get rid of those right here, and we will make note, you know, this is the downtrend, this is the sideways trading environment, and this is the potential uptrend. So we're just going to draw a line capturing the data inside of this trading range right here. I'm going to go with a line right there, and then we kind of have a seller's climax action right here. We'll go with at the bottom of the breakout. Okay, so here's basically our trading range. We broke through the trading range on a sign of strength, had a sign of strength right here. And then we came down for our test, and we've now broken that level. So technically there's a buy signal right here, and we're coming back down to test that level of the area that we just broke. I think that Bitcoin Cash is setting up to actually start performing well. Keep in mind, the tokenomics of this coin are the same as Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at $50,000. This, we can start pumping money into this coin and see some price appreciation. Do I agree with it fundamentally? No, I don't. I think that it's garbage fundamentally. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. That's just my opinion, and I'm just a cartoon bear. I don't know anything. But I'm just saying, I don't agree with it fundamentally, but that does not mean that it cannot appreciate in price. So yeah, there's been a lot of news in regards to Dash. Would you mind taking a look at it? Dash went straight up. So new range, same thing. Yeah, same thing. Huge pump, wait for a new range. Okay, huge pump, wait for a new range. The new range will tell you everything you need to know. The new range is not developed. There's nothing that can be told right now. Okay, unfamiliar with DEX, but I'll look into it. Thanks. Having a hard time with entering a lot of brokers exactly because of the cuts that they take at every trade you make. My friend, Goose96, my friend, DEX is a decentralized exchange, and this is DeFi, decentralized finance. This is peer-to-peer trading, peer-to-peer finance. This is what makes me so freaking excited, is because people like you are not alone. And guess what? The entire world of finance is going to wake up one day and realize that there is a place that they can put their money for loaning, for investments, for this, for that, for high frequency trading, all without having to pay a broker, without permission, without anything. I'm so stoked on DeFi, so stoked on DeFi. And it's exactly because of that sentiment. Beep your broker. Your broker is garbage. We have the tech. It's here. It's safe. It exists. It's speculative. Yeah, it's volatile. Yeah, but the tech is here. The tech is here. Give it 10 years and your broker will be broke. Your broker won't have a job. Maybe longer. Some people always take a long time to adapt. But peer-to-peer finance with potentially pennies on commissions. It's profound tech that we're working on here. So DEX, it stands for decentralized exchange. It's just an exchange that operates on the blockchain. Okay. Can you attach something like DEX to Guru to TradingView? No, decentralized is all, DEXs are all on chain. There is, you can't attach a broker to it, but you know what? They're going to create a decentralized TradingView or something. They're actually, if you go to chartx.pro, that's already like the beginning stages. That's the dial-up days of decentralized TradingView. And that will be integrated with your wallet, and you'll be able to do trading on that. If you can't already, actually. Here, let me show you. chartx.pro. So here with chartx.pro, you can connect your Ethereum wallet, I think it's just Ethereum wallet right now, but you can connect your wallet. You can also go to these. Look at this. You buy 5,000 chart, which I think is like $150 right now, and you get all these premium features inside of this decentralized trading view. You just buy the tokens that run the protocol. This is what I'm talking about. All these companies, it's crazy cool and it's crazy scary because we're creating technology that exists without a company. These companies are not going to be companies. These companies are going to be protocols. You're going to have tax protocols. You're going to have TradingView protocols. You're going to have Spotify protocols. You're going to have YouTube protocols. You're going to have Google protocols that will all just exist without an owner. And that's mind-blowing. But, this is where we're going. No, chartx.pro does not have good tools for charting. It's pretty garbage right now, but it's, the whole space is not where it needs to be. Uniswap is not Binance. It's not even close, but, this is where we are right now. Okay. All right, guys. That's pretty much it. You know, I don't need to go into too many of the assets today, just because a lot of them are in this wait and see scenario right now. It's just, you know, we're in a no trade scenario. Bitcoin could either go up or Bitcoin could go down. How do you like that for analysis? It's just wait and see. I'm not opening new positions. I'm not closing any because I already lost the opportunity to close some positions. I'm just holding. I'm going to just wait it out and see. So yeah, this is, yeah, that's it. So many questions I've been spending all day to figure out. Well, you know, I do this twice a week now, You know, I was doing this daily, but you know, I'm gonna commit to twice a week. You guys can count on me here on Tuesdays at 8 and Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. So I'm here to answer questions, but I'm also always in the Discord. So if you want to join the Discord down below, I encourage you to do that. You can ask questions. I've got a lot of really good analysts in there. I've got some killer fundamentals guys in there as well that know way more than I do on the fundamental side. And you know, they can answer a ton of questions. So by all means, hit us up in the Discord. That's all the time I got for today. If you enjoyed this content, which I got a couple followers right there, so you obviously do enjoy the content, please, we'll see you on Thursday. And until next time, whoa, trade safe. It's a jungle out there. Peace.